Hello, I wanted to leave you a very quick video with 4 tips on how to boost your metabolism. Okay, we talk about this quite a lot, that essentially there's a lot of nuances and intricacies involved, hormones and all kinds of stuff, but from the very basic level, when we're looking to lose weight and stay in good shape, so stay at a weight that's healthy for us, we're looking at creating an energy balance whereby the food that we're consuming and the drinks we're consuming is about what our actual body needs. If we're looking to lose weight, we obviously need to consume less than our body needs and burn more off. But if we're looking to maintain weight, we've got to get that balance about right. Obviously, if we're consuming more calories, which is effectively more energy than we need, we'll just absorb that, lay it down, store it as fat. Okay, so in that balance, clearly what you're eating nutritional wise and calorie wise is important, but equally what you're burning at the other end is important. The higher we can get that, the less, not the less diligent, because I still think it's important that we're conscious of our health when we're eating. All too often I see people doing more exercise and then feeling that means they can eat crap. Seriously, doesn't work like that. If you exercise well, your body also needs nutrition to look after it as well. So we still need to eat healthily, but the more we can afford to eat, and when we have the odd treat, if we're eating well generally, it doesn't do us as much harm. So this is all about this end of the spectrum, about what we can do to increase our metabolism, and 4 quick tips. The first one being, make sure you get plenty of protein in your diet. So there's a thermogenic effect of eating protein, which simply means that the body uses more energy to break down protein and convert it to energy than it does any other macronutrient, than it does carbohydrates, than it does fat, than it does anything. So all the time you're eating protein, and the more you can get into your diet, the more energy you're having to use in order for your body to break it down to use it. It also has a big satiety effect, in that you will feel more satisfied, more full, less hungry for longer afterwards anyway. It's not relevant to this video, but in terms of being an added bonus, that's there as well. But when we're talking about metabolic effect and talk about increasing our metabolic rate, increasing the energy that we use, we need to have a diet that's relatively high in protein. The more protein we have on it, the more energy our body has to use to break it down. The second and third actually relate to, excuse me, I'm just using my cursor, relate to 2 types of exercise that we do regularly at Fit for Life Mums. And those are HIIT, and they are also using weights. So with the HIIT, I've spoken to you about this before, some of you, high intensity interval training. The emphasis being on the H and the I, the high and the intensity, okay? It's the type of exercise where we go hell for leather for 10, 20, 30 seconds and then introduce a recovery period, a short recovery period. That's proven again and again and again to be the type of exercise that creates the biggest oxygen deficit after exercise and the biggest, therefore, increase in metabolic rate post-exercise. So we work out hard in the class, hard in the session, hard during those workout periods, those work periods of the interval, and we benefit from the effects of a raised metabolic rate long after the exercise session is finished. So 24 to 48 hours afterwards, depending on the intensity of the intervals. So that's a big part. It's also a lot more efficient, time efficient, than, for example, going off for a jog for an hour, for example. You can get it done in like 20 minutes, which is what we often use in the sessions. Hitting the weights. Remember, as we get older, our metabolic rate declines, and a big reason for that is because we have less muscle mass. And you will notice that, unless you already exercise regularly with us, that as you get older, your muscle definition decreases, simply because you don't have enough muscle. And that's simply because you don't use it. Muscle is an organ that if you don't use it, you will lose it. And unlike fat is a sedentary, I suppose, tissue, in that it doesn't need any energy to just hang around there to survive, whereas muscle does. It uses energy all the time. So the more muscle we can create to give us a nice toned look as well, the more our metabolic rate is lifted, the more calories we'll burn even at rest. And the last one being the NEAT portion of your exercise, which is simply, let me remember this, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is simply all the other stuff you do in a day when you're not exercising that uses up calories. So it's the you know, the getting in, the extra walking, it's the moving around your house, it's the doing your housekeeping, it's while you're sat at a desk. I'm naturally, luckily, quite a fidgety person. I will constantly shift from one position to another, constantly on one knee, then another, then I'll get up, then I'll get down. I don't sit still for very long. And that, luckily for me, burns up a lot of calories. If you know you're not that type of person, you need to make that happen for you. So I know a lot of the apps you can get on Apple Watches and things now are asking you if you've been up out of your seat, if you've been standing up at any point in an hour. If you haven't, get up, go make yourself a cup of tea, put the washing on, do something. Try and fidget around your day as much as you can. That neat, that non-exercise activity, the general fidgeting and moving around, can actually burn up a hell of a lot of calories. So if we just look at those four subjects there, we've got getting more protein into the diet, we've got your smart exercise, which composes of, you know, when you're doing the HIIT work at Fit Mums, the boxing is HIIT work, the lots of stuff we do where we say, right, we're going to do 30 seconds of burpees for something, for example, it's all about giving it your absolute all when you're doing that exercise part, and then obviously the recovery comes afterwards. That creates extra calories and an increase in metabolic rate. Then we've got the weights. We've got to keep the muscle building or the muscle maintained. If we obviously don't want to get too big, some of us, but we've got to keep the muscle maintained because that is our calorie burner. That's our little furnace that uses up energy even when we're at rest. And then the non-exercise, taking the stairs, doing your daily chores, just moving around. It's not structured exercise, but it's that general movement in the day from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. The more of that you can get in here and there, the more calories you'll use. So just thought I would mention those 4 things as being cumulatively probably the biggest things we can do to increase that end of the seesaw that we talked about. Concentrate on the nutrition end as well to make sure that's healthy and right, the right amount. But this is the area we're focusing on today, getting as much calories burnt as possible. Okay, hope that helps. Speak to you soon.